Hi, today is January 9th, 2009. I'm Stephanie Elsie.
And I'm Abigail Wheeler. Welcome to BHS News.
Thursday was the first blood drive of the new year for Bashir. They had 28 people donate, 2 of which were first-time donors. They received a total of 25 units of blood. On December 19th, school was closed due to bad weather. The makeup day is scheduled for Martin Luther King Day on January 19th. Any further makeup days will be added on the end of school.
Monday night, the Brashear Lady Tigers hosted Atlanta in a varsity basketball game. The Lady Tigers got the first bucket of the game, but things quickly started to go sour as Atlanta took an 11-7 lead after the first quarter. Atlanta held a 27-14 lead going into halftime. Atlanta seemed to be on cruise as they led 37-22 after 3 quarters and held a 15-point lead several minutes into the fourth quarter before Brashear started to mount a comeback. As Brashear pushed the pace of the game, Atlanta was unable to burn the clock. The Lady Tigers chipped away at the lead, hitting 15 fourth-quarter free throws. Macy Rogers drove the baseline to tie the game 43-43 with 1 minute and 3 seconds left on the clock. 10 seconds later, Stephanie Elsie drained a pair of free throws to put the Tigers ahead 45-43 on their way to a 47-43 win. Macy Rogers had 17 points for Brashear, Stephanie Elsie scored 10, Shelby Rogers had 8, Emily Ladwig added 6, Kristen Love and Caroline Slavin had 2 points each, and Abby McCam and Sydney Slavin scored 1 point each.
In the boys' game, the Brashear starters jumped out to a quick 10-point lead. The Tigers were up 20-10 after their first quarter and led 39-19 at halftime. Brashear continued their dominance in the third quarter, extending their lead 60-28 on their way to a 63-34 win. For Brashear, Kylie Watson, Trey Treasure, and Justin Hazen were all in the double figures with 15, 12, and 10 points. Matt Thomas added 7, Anthony Ambrosia and Ryan Furtick scored 6, Cody Snelling, Jacob Owen, and Jay Scudder scored 2 points, and Adam Sauter scored 1.
Thanks for watching.
Join us next week.
Hi, today is January 16th, 2009. I'm Jay Scudder. Welcome to BHS News.
On Saturday, January 10th, the junior high and elementary academic bowl teams traveled to Scotland County for the Sprint Bowl tournament. The teams competed in several games and took a couple wins. The boys' elementary team qualified for the afternoon rounds, but lost their first game to Scotland County. The teams included 5th grade students Tyler Finling, Dakota Schultz, Shayoti Zajac, and Sydney Sykes. 6th grade students Gabe Thomas, Chance Hill, Allison Thompson, and Allie Garrett. 7th grade students Angela McKim and Sam Smith, and 8th grade students Blake Flum, Miranda Creason, Austin Alexander, and Nicholas Gordon.
On Thursday, January 8th, Brashear visited Marion County. The Lady Tigers fell behind early as Marion County's press allowed the Lady Mustangs to run up a 16-6 lead after the first quarter and a 34-15 lead at halftime. Marion County continued to extend their lead to 55-19 at the end of the third quarter and picked up the win by a margin of 61-24. For Brashear, Macy Rogers had 9 points, Caroline Slavin added 5, Stephanie Elsie and Shelby Rogers had 4 points each, and Emily Ladwig scored 2 points.
The roles were reversed in the boys' game as Brashear jumped to an early 12-0 lead, started emptying their long bench as early as the first quarter. The Tigers led 20-8 after 1 quarter and 36-16 at halftime. Brashear continued to outscore Marion County in every quarter, leading 43-25 after the third quarter and picking up the win with a score of 63-33. Kylie Watson paced Brashear with 18 points. Trey Treasure added 14. Ryan Furtick had 10. Justin Hazen scored 9 points. Matt Thomas had 6. And Anthony Ambrosia, Adam Songer, and Jacob Owen scored 2 points each.
Brashear hosted Schuyler County girls Friday, January 9th. Schuyler County Lady Rams jumped out to an early 26-8 lead after one quarter of play and went into halftime leading 44-19. Brashear in the third quarter was trailing 60-32. Schuyler County still outscored Brashear in the final two quarters, getting the win by a score of 73-37. For Brashear, Macy Rogers scored 12 points, Abby McKim and Shelby Rogers had 7 each, Emily Ladwig had 4, Caroline Slavin had 3, and Stephanie Elsie and Sydney Slavin scored 2 points each.
Things looked bad for the Tigers in the first half of the boys' game, with the Rams leading 17-8 at the end of the first quarter and 30-22 at halftime. 5 minutes into the third quarter, Brashear managed to grab the lead and hold it 38-36 at the end of the quarter. Schuyler came back in the fourth and retook the lead, and it was anyone's game as the clock ticked down. Both teams had a chance to break a 50-50 tie in the last minute, but neither succeeded, sending the game into overtime. Schuyler outscored the Tigers from the line 4-1, leaving the score at 54-51. With time getting short, Trey Treasure hit a bucket to pull Brashear within 1 point at 54-53. Then Treasure found Anthony Ambrosia on an inbound for the game-winning bucket with 7 seconds left. The final score was Brashear 55, Schuyler County 54. Kylie Watson had 17 points for Brashear, Trey Treasure added 11, Ryan Ferdig scored 10, Matt Thomas had 7, and Anthony Ambrosia and Justin Hazen had 5 points each.
Monday night, Scotland County came to town for a basketball doubleheader. The girls' game saw both teams have a little trouble scoring in the early going, with Brashear trailing 5-4 midway through the first quarter. That was soon to change as Scotland County went on a 14-0 run that put them ahead 16-4 at the end of the first quarter and ahead 31-9 at halftime. Both teams had their best offensive quarter in the third, with Scotland County extending their lead to 55-18 on their way to a 63-21 win. Macy Rogers had 10 points for Brashear. Stephanie Elsie and Emily Ladwig had 4 points each. Shelby Rogers had 2 points, and Katie Smith scored 1 point.
In the boys' game, Brashear pulled out to a 16-11 lead after one quarter of play and led 43-23 going into halftime. Scotland County pulled within 12 in the third quarter, but Brashear ended the third up with 59-43 and picked up the win 77-55. Trey Treasure scored 18 points for Brashear, Kylie Watson added 17, Ryan Ferdig had 13, Matt Thomas scored 11 points, Anthony Ambrosia had 6, Justin Hazen had 5, Cody Snelling and Jay Scudder scored 2 points each, and Hayden Coyne scored 1.
Thanks for watching. Join us next week.
Hi, today is January 23rd, 2009. I'm Jordan Berry.
And I'm Carmen Woods. Welcome to BHS News.
On Wednesday, the Renaissance program sponsored breakfast. Renaissance students were invited to the Keller Building for biscuits and gravy with eggs. Each semester, Renaissance provides food for the kids. To be in Renaissance, you need a high attendance and must have high grades.
On Thursday, the Brashear Tigers traveled to La Plata to split a pair of conference wins. The Brashear Lady Tigers took an early lead of as much as 4 points, but La Plata had closed the gap to 8-7 after one quarter of play. The Lady Bulldogs managed a 4-point lead of their own in the second and led 25-21 going into halftime. The game was closely contested in the third, with La Plata finishing ahead 36-31, but the Lady Bulldogs pulled away in the late minutes of the game to win by a score of 53-41. Shelby Rogers led the scoring for Brashear with 20 points. Stephanie Elsie had 6 points. Macy Rogers and Caroline Slavin scored 5 each. Katie Smith had 3, and Emily Ladwig scored 2 points.
The Brashear boys got off to a quick start and opened an 8-point lead before ending the first quarter 14-10. La Plata riled in the second, taking a small lead before Brashear recovered and took a 24-22 lead at halftime. Brashear came out strong again after halftime, running up a 13-point lead and led 45-36 after 3 quarters of play. La Plata's halftime rally brought them within a point, but they never gained full lead against Brashear. Brashear took the win 61-55. Kylie Watson scored 18 points, Ryan Ferdig added 17, Trey Treasure had 14, Matt Thomas had 5, Justin Hazen had 4, and Anthony Ambrosia had
3 points.
On Friday, Bevere hosted the Tigers for a pair of conference basketball games. The girls' game was neck and neck in the first half, with the score tied at 8-8 in the first quarter and 23-18 in favor of Bevere at halftime. The third quarter was a duplicate of the first, with both teams scoring 8 points each to make the score 31-26. Bevere then outscored the Lady Tigers 21-14 in the fourth quarter to pick up the 52-40 win. Emily Ladwig paced Brashear with 13 points. Stephanie Elsie, Abby McKim, and Macy Rogers scored 8 points each. Caroline Slavin had 2, and Shelby Rogers scored 1 point.
In the boys' game, the Tigers went to work quickly in the first quarter, running up a lead. Brashear led 22-14 after the first quarter and 37-21 at halftime. The Tigers cruised through third quarter, leading 58-41 going to fourth. Bevere mounted a rally in the fourth, but still fell short, with the final score being Brashear 70 and Bevere 59. For Brashear, Kylie Watson had 16 points, Trey Treasure scored 14, Justin Hazen added 8, Matt Thomas and Ryan Ferdig had 7 each, Anthony Ambrosia scored 6, Dylan Redding, Adam Songer, and Hayden Coyne scored 2 points each, and Zach Reeves scored 1 point.
Monday night, Brashear traveled to the North Shelby tournament to face Knox County in a first-round game. The Lady Eagles jumped ahead early to lead 14-6 at the end of the first quarter. Brashear trailed by as few as 5 late in the second quarter before another Knox County run put them ahead 25-14 at the half. It was all Knox County in the second half as they extended their lead to 48-18 at the end of the third quarter on their way to a 55-23 win. Shelby Rogers scored 13 points for Brashear, Abby McKim and Emily Lodwig scored 4 points each, and Macy Rogers had 2 points.
Brashear boys jumped out to a commanding 22-5 lead over Scotland County at the end of the first quarter and led 39-20 at halftime. The Tigers from Brashear continued to outscore Scotland County, cruising on to a 66-35 win. Ryan Ferdig and Trey Treasure scored 14 points each for Brashear. Anthony Ambrosia added 11, Justin Hazen and Matt Thomas added 10 each, Kylie Watson had 4, Jay Scudder had 2, and Cody Snelling scored 1 point.
On Wednesday, the Brashear Lady Tigers traveled back to North Shelby for the consolation semifinals game against La Plata. Brashear scored the first 2 points of the game, but La Plata scored the next 11. The Lady Bulldogs held a 13-4 lead after the first quarter of play and led 26-11 at the half. Brashear fell further behind after the half and trailed 40-21 after 3 quarters, but mounted a late rally to close the lead to single digits. La Plata held off the late charge and advanced to the consolation game with the 53-43 win. For Brashear, Macy Rogers scored 13 points, Shelby Rogers had 9, Emily Lodwig added 7, Stephanie Elsie, Caroline Slavin, and Sydney Slavin had 4 points each, and Abby McKim scored 2 points.
On Wednesday night, the Brashear boys traveled to North Shelby for the second round of games against Knox County. Knox County led 19-15 after the first quarter of play and 31-24 at halftime. Brashear tried to gain the lead coming out of the locker room but failed as Knox County outscored the Tigers 55-40 at the end of the third quarter and took the win, beating Brashear 73-65. For Brashear, Trey Treasure had 28 points, Kylie Watson scored 18, Ryan Ferdig had 14, Matt Thomas added 3, and Justin Hazen scored 2.
Thanks for watching. Join us next week.
On Monday, January 26, FBLA assisted Nancy Platts for their annual Hearts for Heroes event. Everyone who attended ate pizza and then made Valentine's Day cards for veterans and servicemen overseas. On Wednesday, January 28th, Mr. Copeland's general science class had Ben Schlater, a Missouri conservationist, come and talk to them about game processing. He brought and skinned 2 hind-quarter deers, 1 raccoon, and 1 turkey.
In the girls' 7th place game, Brashear and Atlanta played hard for most of the first quarter, with neither team able to take more than a 2-point lead. Brashear managed to lead 14-10 at the end of the first quarter, but both teams scored 10 points in the second, leaving Brashear ahead 24-20 at the half. Brashear and Atlanta each put up another 10 points in the third to make the score 34-30 before Brashear pulled away in the fourth for a 49-36 win. Brashear had 4 players in double figures. Macy Rogers scored 13. Abby McKim, Emily Ladwig, and Shelby Rogers had 10 points each. Caroline Slavin scored 4, and Sydney Slavin scored 2 points.
The boys' third-place game at North Shelby was a rematch between Schuyler County and Brashear. The last time these two teams met, it took an overtime to settle things, with Brashear coming out on top. In this game, Schuyler County jumped out to a 15-11 first-quarter lead and led 29-27 at halftime. The game was knotted at 43 all after 3 quarters of play and seemed to be anybody's game. As the clock wound down in the fourth, Brashear held a 3-point lead until Schuyler sank a 3-pointer with only a few seconds left to send the game into overtime. The overtime period was all of Schuyler County as they outscored Brashear 15-5 to claim third place by a score of 72-62. For Brashear, Kylie Watson scored 18 points, Trey Treasure had 16, Anthony Ambrosia had 10, Matt Thomas had 7, Justin Hazen had 6, and Ryan Ferdig scored 5 points.
The Lady Tigers and Lady Gophers played a close first half with Brashear leading 12-8 at the end of the first quarter, and the scores tied 16-all at halftime. Brashear came out strong in the second half, running up a 35-23 lead after 3 quarters and winning by a margin of 53-33. 3 Lady Tigers were in double figures. Macy Rogers scored 16 points, Abby McKim had 14, Emily Ladwig had 10, Shelby Rogers added 7, Caroline Slavin had 4, and Katie Smith scored 2 points.
In the boys' game, Brashear quickly jumped out to a lead of 26-7 after 1 quarter and led 50-22 at the half. The Tigers pushed their lead to 82-44 after 3 quarters on their way to a 90-58 win. 5 Tigers scored in the double figures. Trey Treasure had 18, Ryan Ferdig scored 17, Anthony Ambrosia had 16 points, Kylie Watson had 12, Jay Scudder scored 6 points, Cody Snelling had 4, Michael McKim and Adam Songer had 2 each, and Justin Hazen scored 1 point.
This week, students participated in FBLA Week. Each day had a set theme and many students dressed the part. A few of the themes include Clash Day, Twin Day, and Come As You Are Day. Prizes were given out each day to random students who participated in this week's activities. A teacher appreciation luncheon will be held Friday to finish out the week. Thank you to all the students who dressed up this week and showed their school spirit.
Monday, the cheerleaders held a pep rally to get school spirit pumped for the Knox County game. The rally began with cheers and an introduction of the teams. Then the real fun began. What would any pep rally be without cheers, hula hoops, human wheelbarrows, duck walks, dizzy free throws, crab walks, more free throws, and of course, pyramids.
The Brashear Tigers and Lady Tigers dropped a pair of games at Canton last Friday. In the girls' game, Canton jumped out to a 19-3 lead in the first quarter and never looked back, extending the lead to 36-10 at halftime, 65-10 after the third quarter, and won the game 71-20. For Brashear, Macy Rogers had 6 points, Stephanie Elsie chipped in 4, Abby McKim and Emily Lodwig had 3 points each, and Caroline Slavin and Kristen Love both had 2. In the boys' game, Brashear jumped on top early but trailed Canton 13-10 after the first quarter. Canton then extended the lead to 33-15 going into halftime and 50-29 after 3 quarters. Brashear made a run in the fourth, but free throws by Canton put the game out of reach as they went on to win 63-50. Kylie Watson led Brashear with 18 points. Trey Treasure added 12, Matt Thomas had 8, and Anthony Ambrosia, Justin Hazen, and Ryan Ferdig had 4 points each.
Brashear hosted Knox County in a non-conference basketball game Monday. In the girls' game, Knox County jumped out to a 16-4 first quarter lead and were up 38-12 at halftime. The Lady Eagles extended their lead to 60-23 after 3 quarters and finished the game with a 76-26 win over the Lady Tigers. For Brashear, Macy Rogers scored 11 points, Emily Ladwig had 8, Sydney Slavin had 3, and Stephanie Elsie and Abby McKim scored 2 points each.
On Monday, February 2nd, Brashear faced Knox. Knox County boys went ahead 19-12 at the end of the first quarter, but Brashear battled back to close the gap with Knox County leading by a single point, 38-37 at halftime. Both teams had runs in the second half, giving them temporary leads with Knox County up 54-52 at the end of the third quarter. Brashear managed to take the lead during the fourth quarter and were up with less than 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to play, but the Eagles hit some key shots and Brashear only widened Knox County's lead as they were forced to foul as the clock wound down. Knox County held on for the win by a score of 76-67. Brashear Ryan's Ferdig led all the scores with 25 points. Trey Treasure added 14. Anthony Ambrosia had 9, Matt Thomas had 8, Kylie Watson had 6, Justin Hazen had 3, and Jay Scudder scored 2 points. Hi, today is Friday, February 13th, 2009. I'm Jordan Berry.
And I'm Trevor Bunch. Welcome to BHS News. Adair County had its annual health screenings for elementary and high school this week. The students got their eyes checked as well as their blood pressure, height, and weight taken by Truman students who done the screenings as part of the Truman Nursing Program.
On Friday, February 6th, the Brashear sophomores visited the Kirksville Tech Center for a career day. While there, they got to hear speakers tell about different careers that they could go in.
On Tuesday, the Brashear Lady Tigers took on Atlanta in the first round of the Brashear tournament. Brashear established a 16-10 lead by the end of the first quarter and a 34-21 lead by halftime. The Lady Tigers continued to cruise through the third quarter, ending with a 49-32 lead, but Atlanta mounted a rally in the fourth. Brashear managed to hold off the late charge and held on for the 58-51 win. Macy Rogers scored 17 points for Brashear. Stephanie Elsie and Emily Ladwig had 10 points each. Shelby Rogers added 7 points. Abby McKim and Caroline Slavin had 5 points each, and Sydney Slavin scored 4 points.
The Brashear boys jumped out to a 23-6 first quarter lead over Putnam County. The Tigers were up 48-20 at half and led 62-32 after 3 quarters on their way to a 74-46 victory. For Brashear, Justin Hazen, Matt Thomas, and Trey Treasure scored 12 points each. Kylie Watson added 10. Anthony Ambrosia had 6. Michael McKim, Ryan Ferdig, and Jay Scudder scored 4 points each. Cody Snelling and Hayden Coyne scored 3, and Adam Songer and Zach Reeves each had 2 points.
Thanks for watching.
Join us next week.
girls' semifinals at the Brashear tournament, the Brashear Lady Tigers faced off against Marion County. Marion County jumped out to a quick 21-5 lead after one quarter and extended the lead to 37-11 at halftime and 59-23 after three quarters. Brashear outscored Marion County 19-3 in the last quarter, but it wasn't enough as Class 1 5th-ranked Marion County got the win 62-42. For Brashear, Abby McKim had 19 points, Macy Rogers had 14, Stephanie Elsie added 4, Shelby Rogers had 3, and Sydney Slavin chipped in 2 points. The boys' semifinal pitted the Brashear Tigers against the Novinger Wildcats. Brashear outscored Novinger 23-5 in the first quarter and went into halftime leading 54-22. Brashear once again outscored Novinger in the third, extending the lead 77-38. Novinger outscored Brashear 9-5 in the last quarter, but Brashear went on to win by a score of 82-47. For Brashear, Trey Treasure had 23 points, Matt Thomas, Kylie Watson, and Anthony Ambrosia had 12 each, Justin Hazen had 10 points, Ryan Furtick had 5, Jay Scudder scored 4 points, and Zach Reeves and Michael McKim had 2 points each.
On the final night of the Brashear tournament, the action started with the girls' third-place game. North Shelby took a 13-11 lead over Brashear after the first quarter of play and led 31-21 at halftime. The Lady Raiders widened their lead to 43-32 in the third quarter before Brashear mounted a comeback in the fourth. Brashear outscored North Shelby 26-16 in the fourth quarter and held a lead for much of the late action, but with Brashear holding a 3-point lead and the clock under 10 seconds, North Shelby drove to the basket for a layup and a foul. With the basket making a 1-point game and the free throw missed, Brashear was unable to control the rebound. North Shelby scored the winning bucket on the inbounds play. The final score was North Shelby 59 and Brashear 58. For Brashear, Macy Rogers and Emily Ladwig were both in double figures with 20 and 12 points. Abby McKim had 9, Caroline Slavin scored 8, Shelby Rogers had 4, Sydney Slavin had 3, and Stephanie Elsie scored 2 points. The boys' championship game was a much-anticipated matchup between Knox County Eagles and Brashear Tigers. The Eagles got off to a quick start and led Brashear 15-13 after the first quarter and 28-23 at halftime. Brashear outscored Knox County 17-9 in the third quarter to grab a 40-37 lead, and again outscored Knox County 17-14 in the fourth to win the championship 57-51. For Brashear, Kylie Watson scored 16 points, Matt Thomas added 11, Trey Treasure had 10, Ryan Furtick scored 9, Justin Hazen had 7, and Anthony Ambrosia scored 4 points.
Saturday night's win over Knox County marked the first time since 2002-2003 that the Brashear boys have won the Brashear tournament. Coach Wilburn had pledged to have his head shaved by the team if they won the championship, so a large crowd gathered after the game to watch the Clippers come out and to see Coach Wilburn's new hairstyle.
Brashear picked up a pair of wins over Milan on Monday. The girls' game was close all the way through, with the first quarter tied 14-14 and ending the first half with Milan up 38-33. The Lady Tigers came back and outscored the Wildcats 34-21 in the second half, ending the game with the score of 67-59. For Brashear, Macy Rogers had 15 points, Stephanie Elsie and Emily Ladwig had 12 points each, Abby McKim and Caroline Slavin had 10 each, Shelby Rogers had 6, and Sydney Slavin had 2 points. In the boys' game, Milan jumped on top early with a 12-11 lead after one quarter, but Brashear came back to take a 31-19 lead at the half. Milan pulled back in the game in the third and only trailed 37-36 after three quarters. The fourth quarter was back and forth, with Brashear holding a slim 3-point lead with less than a minute left, but Milan tied the game with a 3-pointer to send the game into overtime. Brashear was never threatened in overtime as they rolled to a 61-55 win. For Brashear, Trey Treasure had 20 points, Ryan Furtick had 13, Justin Hazen scored 12, Matt Thomas had 10, Kylie Watson scored 4, and Anthony Ambrosia had 2 points.
On Tuesday, February 17th, Brashear faced Buckland. Buckland girls took an early lead of 11-8 after the first quarter, but Brashear stayed within 1 at 22-21 at halftime. Buckland pushed their lead to 36-32 after 3 quarters of play, and despite runs by Brashear, Buckland held on for the 52-45 win. For Brashear, Macy Rogers scored 19 points, Shelby Rogers had 8, Stephanie Elsie and Sydney Slavin had 5 points each, and Abby McKim and Caroline Slavin scored 4 points each. In the boys' game, Brashear jumped out to a quick 30-4 lead after one quarter. Brashear led 48-11 at halftime, 69-25 after three quarters, and won by a score of 73-29. Anthony Ambrosia scored 14 points, Justin Hazen and Ryan Ferdig had 9 points each, Trey Treasure had 8, Matt Thomas and Hayden Coyne scored 7 points each, Kylie Watson and Jay Scudder had 6 each, Cody Snelling had 5, and Adam Songer had scored 2 points.
On Tuesday, February 17th, National Honor Society held an induction to welcome new members. Sydney Slavin, Stephanie Elsie, Abby McKim, and Jordan Berry. After the inductions, NHS welcomed the parents to cake and punch in the library.
Wednesday night was senior night at Brashear High. Between the girls and boys games against Lynn County, 20 seniors and their parents were introduced to the crowd and honored.
On Friday, the boys' JV team took on Novinger. Brashear came out on top of the contest with a score of 31-19. Michael McKim led the Tigers with 10 points, Cody Snelling added 8, Hayden Coyne had 7, Adam Songer scored 4, and Jay Scudder had 2 points.
On Friday, February 20th, Brashear faced Novinger. In the girls' game, Brashear was in the lead with 10-7 in the first quarter. The Lady Tigers kept their lead through the second and third quarter, but lost it in the fourth, leaving Novinger with a score of 50 and Brashear with 42. For Brashear, Macy Rogers scored 15 points, Emily Ladwig and Sydney Slavin scored 8 each, Stephanie Elsie had 5 points, Abby McKim had 4, and Shelby Rogers scored 2 points.
On Friday, the boys took a win over Novinger with a score of 64-33. Brashear led by 6 after the first quarter and 12 in the second quarter, making the score 29-17 at halftime. Coming out of the locker room, the Tigers made it hard for Novinger to keep up. They kept the lead 49-29 after the third quarter and ended the game on a high note with a final score of 64-33. Matt Thomas paced Brashear with 13 points, Justin Hazen added 10, Anthony Ambrosia and Trey Treasure both added 9, Ryan Ferdig and Kylie Watson both scored 8, Cody Snelling had 3, and Michael McKim and Hayden Coyne both scored 2 points each.
On Tuesday, the Tigers traveled to North Shelby for North Shelby Senior Night. The girls' contest was anybody's game after the first quarter, with North Shelby holding a slim 17-14 lead. The Raiders' offense kicked into gear in the second quarter, taking a 35-18 lead into halftime. The Raiders went on to outscore Brashear 26-12 in the second half, winning by a score of 61-38. For Brashear, Macy Rogers had 11, Emily Lodwig had 6, Abby McKim and Caroline Slavin each pitched in 4 points. Shelby Rogers added 3 Brashear free throws, with Sydney Slavin adding 2.
The Brashear boys got off to a slow start against a tough North Shelby defense, only scoring 14 points in each of the first 2 quarters to lead 28-26 at halftime. The Tigers then extended the lead to 39-36 after 3 quarters. However, North Shelby came back in the fourth to take the lead by 1 with 5 minutes left to play. The game was back and forth after that, with the Tigers holding a slim 2-point lead near the end of the game. The Raiders were then forced to foul, and Brashear hit clutch free throws down the stretch to claim a 58-53 win. For Brashear, Kylie Watson had led with 20 points, Trey Treasure had 17, Anthony Ambrosia added 11, Ryan Ferdig had 6 points, and Justin Hazen and Matt Thomas had 2 points each.
On Wednesday, February 25th, Lynn County came to Brashear. In the girls' game, Lynn County took the lead in the first quarter with a score of 10-0. Brashear fought back in the second quarter, scoring 8 points, but just couldn't keep up in the third and fourth quarter with a final score of Lynn County 50 and Brashear 30. For Brashear, Macy Rogers scored 11 points, Shelby Rogers scored 9, Sydney Slavin scored 6, and Emily Ladwig scored 4 points.
Lynn County jumped out to an early lead in the boys' contest and led 9-8 after one quarter. However, Brashear rattled off 33 points in the second quarter, making the score 41-18 at halftime. Brashear then cruised through the second half, getting the 77-50 win over the Mustangs. For Brashear, Kylie Watson led with 17 points, Justin Hazen had 13, Trey Treasure had 12, Brian Ferdig scored 8, Anthony Ambrosia and Matt Thomas both added 6, Cody Snelling had 5, Jacob Owen and Zach Reeves both scored 4 each, and Jay Scudder added 2. Hi, today is March 6, 2009. I'm Abigail Wheeler.
And I'm Stephanie Elsie. Welcome to BHS News. It's been a very busy week at BHS with homecoming and the district games.
Here's the report.
Congratulations to Abby McKim and Jordan Berry. Their mural was selected by the Kirksville Arts Council to be enlarged and made into an outside display. As an award, the Brashear Arts Department received $200.
Last week was homecoming here at BHS. In order to get ready for the big game, a pep rally was held Friday afternoon. Both the girls and boys teams were introduced, and the cheerleaders led the teams in fun contests. Friday night, this year's homecoming prince and princess and king and queen were announced. Prince and princess candidates were Sam Smith and Katie Sweet, Justin Mihalovich and Kelsey Hawker, and Daniel Anderson and Chloe Sykes. King and queen candidates were Matt McLeod and Sydney Slavin, John Hicks and Ariel Smith, and Richard Coy and Liz Owings. Last year's queen, Daisy Ledford, escorted by Matt Thomas, made the presentations. This year's prince and princess were Sam Smith and Katie Sweet. The 2009 king and queen were Richard Coy and Liz Owings. A dance was held after the games.
On Friday, February 27th, Brashear hosted Macon County for their homecoming game. The Lady Tigers got off to a quick 18-16 start in the first quarter and led 40-18 at halftime. Macon County turned in a strong third quarter performance, but still trailed 53-32, and Brashear picked up the win by a score of 60-40. Abby McKim and Macy Rogers had 14 points each for Brashear. Emily Ladwig added 12, Caroline Slavin had 8, Shelby Rogers had 6, Stephanie Elsie had 4, and Sydney Slavin scored 2.
In the boys' game, Brashear led 23-4 after one quarter, 42-6 at halftime, 50-16 after three quarters, and picked up the win 62-22. Brian Ferdig led Brashear with 14 points, Matt Thomas had 12, Anthony Ambrosia and Justin Hazen had 6 each, Kylie Watson and Cody Snelling had 4 points, Michael McKim, Jacob Owen, Zach Reeves, and Hayden Coyne each had 3 points, and Adam Songer and Trey Treasure scored 2 points each.
The Brashear Lady Tigers faced off against La Plata Saturday in the first round of district play. La Plata jumped out to a 12-6 lead after one quarter and led 28-17 at the half. Brashear closed the gap some in the third, but La Plata still led 44-36. Midway through the fourth quarter, Brashear pulled within 6, but a quick succession of transition buckets allowed La Plata to pull away for a 64-50 win. Emily Ladwig led Brashear's scoring with 17 points. Macy Rogers added 10, Caroline Slavin had 8, Stephanie Elsie had 7, Abby McKim had 6, and Shelby Rogers scored 2 points.
The top-seeded Brashear boys played their first-round district game with Marion County Monday. The Tigers opened a 14-4 lead after one quarter and led 34-15 at halftime. Brashear extended their lead to 60-25 after three quarters and picked up the win 70-31. For Brashear, Kylie Watson led all scorers with 25 points, Anthony Ambrosia had 10 points, Ryan Ferdig added 9, Cody Snelling had 8, Trey Treasure had 6, Justin Hazen and Matt Thomas scored 4 each, and Michael McKim and Jay Scudder scored 2 points each.
Thanks for watching.
Join us next week.
The varsity and junior high academic bowl teams opened their seasons with doubleheaders at Atlanta on Monday. The junior high team faced Atlanta for their first game and won by a score of 310 to 220. They also picked up a win versus Bevere 340 to 195. The high school team got out to a slow start versus Atlanta but came from behind to get the win 185 to 75. They then picked up another win over Bevere 195 to 115.
Brashear faced Macon County on Wednesday, March 4, 2009. Brashear got a 13-4 lead after one quarter of play as both teams struggled defensively. Macon County outscored the Tigers 18-12 in the second quarter to pull within 25-22 at halftime. Brashear made a stronger showing in the second half, taking a 45-33 lead after three quarters and winning by a score of 60-44. Ryan Ferdig and Anthony Ambrosia led Brashear, scoring with 12 points each. Matt Thomas added 10. Trey Treasure had 8, Cody Snelling had 7, Kylie Watson scored 6, Adam Songer had 3, and Justin Hazen scored 2 points.
On Friday night, Brashear boys squared off against La Plata. The game was a seesaw battle through the first half with each team holding small leads. Brashear was ahead 10-9 after the first quarter and La Plata led 21-17 at the half. In the third quarter, La Plata managed to muscle up their defense dramatically, holding Brashear to only 6 points while only sending the Tigers to the line a single time. During this time, La Plata pulled out to a 37-23 lead going into the fourth quarter, avoiding what looked like might have been serious foul trouble. The Bulldogs kept their lead in the fourth, and despite being outscored 20-16 from the field during the second half, went 19 for 22 from the line, while Brashear was 3 for 5 from the line. The Bulldogs took the win with a final score of 59-40. For the Tigers, Kylie Watson led with 12 points, Matt Thomas had 9, Trey Treasure scored 6, Cody Snelling had 5, and Anthony Ambrosia and Ryan Ferdig each scored 4 points. Brashear finished their season with a record of 24-5 and finished first in the Tri-County Conference.
7 Brashear High School FBLA members recently qualified to compete at state FBLA competition in Columbia, Missouri, April 19th through the 21st. District competition for the Northeast Missouri area was held in Kirksville February 19th. Competitors who took first and second place in their test are eligible to compete at the state level. Students that qualified for state were Brandon Gordon, first place in business calculations, Courtney Clarkson, second in business procedures, Jay Scudder, first in business math and first in computer troubleshooting, Caitlin Guffey, second in FBLA principles and procedures, Daniel Smith, second in accounting, Ashton Walters, first in intro to business communications, and Matt Thomas, second in sports management. Congratulations to all that qualified and good luck at state.
Last Saturday, 68 students from the 9 schools in the Tri-County Conference came to Brashear to audition for the Tri-County Conference Band. The students put in a long day of work on Saturday, then put on concerts at Brashear, Atlanta, and Bevere schools on Monday. Brashear students that participated included Jay Scudder, first chair saxophone, Rachel Ferguson, second chair clarinet, Christopher Longano, second chair tuba, Chloe Sykes, fourth chair saxophone, Rose Cloud, fifth chair flute, Katie Stewart, 6th chair trumpet, Madeline Potter, 7th chair clarinet, Ashley Moncrief, 8th chair clarinet, and Nikki Moncrief, 8th chair flute.
The Brashear Academic Bowl team remains unscathed, winning Monday at Green City 270-110 and beating Lane County 255-65. Even Junior High pulled a win 485-95 at Lane County. Next game will be here Thursday, the 26th.
Congratulations to Ryan Ferdig and Richard Coy for getting into the National Technical Honor Society.
Recently, 8 Brashear Tiger and Lady Tiger basketball players received all Tri-County Conference honors. First team selections included Kylie Watson, Conference MVP, Trey Treasure, and Matt Thomas. The second team selections were Anthony Ambrosia, Ryan Ferdig, Macy Rogers, and Abby McKim. Justin Hasten also made it on to the honorable mention team.
On Wednesday, 14 of the National Honor Society members traveled to Kansas City. They visited the New Dinner Theater and enjoyed the musical Hats.
Over the past few weeks, the track and baseball teams have been gearing up for their upcoming seasons. The baseball boys are getting ready for their season opener against North Shelby Tuesday, March 24th, as the junior high and varsity track teams get ready for their first meet at Knox County on March 31st.
On Monday, 23rd, 2009, Brashear Elementary had a busy night having a book fair, science fair, and the playground committee threw a spaghetti supper to raise money to update the playground. Approximately $400 was raised.
This past week, the Northeast Missouri Sportscast and Sports Broadcasting Group published their all-district basketball team selections. Congratulations to Kylie Watson, Trey Treasure, and Matt Thomas for making first teams in districts.
Wednesday, the Art Club went on their annual field trip. They first visited Watkins Woolen Mill near Kansas City, where they toured an authentic 1830s mill. Art Club students then traveled to Kansas City to eat at a Winstead's Drive-In Diner. In the afternoon, they visited the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art.
Last Friday, the Tri-County Conference Art Show was held in Atlanta. Congratulations to Destiny Ferdig and Justin Hazen, who both received third place on their art.
Brashear hosted Novinger and La Plata on Thursday, March 26, 2009 for Academic Bowl. The junior high team lost to Novinger with a score of 190 to 300, but won their second game against La Plata with a score of 445 to 55. The varsity Academic Bowl won both games with a score of 295 to 85 against Novinger and 260 to 125 against La Plata. Varsity got first in conference, which completes a perfect 8-0 season. The junior high finished the regular season with 7-1 and got second in the conference.
Last Friday, the Academic Bowl teams went to Atlanta for the Academic Bowl tournament. The junior high defeated Atlanta in the first round and then Macon County in the second. Brashear faced Novinger next, losing that game, and then lost to Bevere, taking third place in the tournament. Congratulations to Nick Thomas and Andy Belzer for making all-conference team. In the high school bracket, Brashear faced Bevere in the first round, defeating them, then defeated Buckland as well. Brashear then moved on to face La Plata and defeated them. La Plata came back through the loser bracket to face Brashear again, but Brashear defeated them in the championship to take first place in the tourney. Congratulations to Jay Scudder and Carolyn Slavin for making all-conference team.
On Wednesday, the junior high track team traveled to Atlanta for their first meet. On the girls' side, Brashear finished first with 94.5 points, while the boys finished sixth with 51 points. The high school track team also had 2 meets scheduled for this week, but the Tuesday Knox County meet and the Thursday Kirksville meet were canceled due to bad weather.
Wednesday, the varsity and junior varsity baseball teams opened their season with a pair of home games against La Plata. In the varsity game, neither team got off to a good start, and the score remained tied at 0 through the first 4 innings. La Plata then got their offense going, scoring 6 runs in the next 3 innings, while limiting Brashear to just 4 hits to take the game 6-0. Matt Thomas had 2 hits for the Tigers, and Kylie Watson and Cody Snelling had a hit apiece. Mike McKim took the loss on the mound for the Tigers, with Matt Thomas pitching in relief. In the JV game, the Tigers gave up 4 runs in both the first and the 4th innings and 6 runs in the 5th, while only scoring 3 runs, and fell to La Plata Junior Varsity 14-3. Adam Songer took the loss on the mound, with Nick Thomas pitching in relief.
On Saturday, April 4th, the junior class held their annual junior-senior prom. The evening started out with Grand March at 5 o'clock, where each junior and senior were introduced with their dates. Prom followed at 8 o'clock at Jackson Stables and finished with everyone meeting at the YMCA to participate in after-prom.
Congratulations to Jay Scudder, Abby McKim, Stephanie Elsie, Nick Thomas, Chance Hill, Audrey DeBee, Abby Kirby, Sydney Sykes, and Allie Garrett for being selected as Young Achievers of Northeast Missouri. Jay Scudder and Abby Kirby were also recognized at the national level.
On Thursday, April 10, 2009, the Brashear FBLA took a trip to St. Louis. On the trip, they went to Cold Stones and was shown how the ice cream is made. While there, the FBLA members were also allowed to make their own ice cream. Afterwards, the students got to go to the Chesterfield Mall.
Tuesday, April 7th, the Brashear baseball teams traveled to Canton for a varsity-junior varsity doubleheader. Brashear jumped out on top in the first on home runs by Matt Thomas and Ryden Ferdig and led 2-1 after 1 inning. The game stayed low scoring until the 5th when Canton added 8 runs to take the lead 9-2. Brashear tried to answer with 2 runs in the 6th and 1 in the 7th, but Canton scored 2 runs in the 7th inning to get the 11-5 win. Matt Thomas had 2 hits, including a home run, and Ryan Ferdig, Cody Snelling, Hayden Coyne, and Jay Scudder had a hit apiece for the Tigers. Matt Thomas took the loss on the mound with Cody Snelling pitching in relief. In the JV game, Brashear fell behind early, trailing 9-0 after the first inning, and Canton went on to get the win 10-2. Hayden Coyne took the loss with Nick Thomas pitching in relief.
On Wednesday, April 8th, the Brashear Junior High track team went to Knox County, with the girls getting 2nd and the boys getting 6th. Individual scores are Nicole Wagster, 1st in 75 hurdles, 4th in the 1600-meter run, and Cynthia Anderson, 6th in 75 hurdles, 4th in the 100 dash. Meredith Thomas, 5th in the 1600 run, 5th in high jump, and 1st in triple jump. Alexa Acton, 3rd in 400 dash, Shelby Salter, 4th in 400 dash, and 2nd in the triple jump, 3rd in long jump. Nicole Moncrief with 1st in the 800 run, and Miranda Creason with 1st in shot put and 6th in discus. For the boys, Hayden Hausman had 3rd in the 1600 run, 2nd in both high and triple jumps, and 3rd in long jump. Augustus Mihalovich got 5th in 400 dash, and Nick Bradshaw getting 5th in the discus.
The junior high track team went to the Knox County track meet this week on Wednesday, April 15th. For the girls junior high track team, Anderson came in 1st for 75 hurdles, Moncrief came in 1st in the 800-meter run, 4x4 relay team came in 2nd, Thomas came in 2nd in triple jump, Salter came in 3rd in the long jump. For the boys junior high track meet, Hausman came in 3rd in the 1600-meter run, Mihalovich came in 3rd in the 400-meter dash, Hausman came in 1st in the triple jump, and also 2nd in the long jump. Overall, the junior high girls came in 3rd place, and the junior high boys came in 7th.
On Tuesday, the varsity track team went to the Highland Relays in Canton. For the girls, Stephanie Elsie finished third in the 100-meter hurdles, and Sierra Hines finished fifth. Sierra also placed sixth in the 300-meter hurdles. The 4x1 team got fourth place, and the 4x2 team placed sixth. On the boys' side, Justin Hazen finished third in the 2-mile, and Joseph Woods placed sixth in the 800.
This week, the high school track team went to Atlanta High School for a track meet on Wednesday, April 15th. For the girls' high school track team, Stephanie Elsie came in fifth place in the 100-meter hurdles, and Sierra Hines came in sixth in the 100-meter hurdles. Chloe Sykes came in fourth in the 400-meter run. The 400-meter relay team came in seventh. Shandy March came in eighth in the 400-meter dash. Sierra Hines came in fifth in the 300-meter low hurdles, and Stephanie Elsie came in sixth in the 300-meter low hurdles. Chloe Sykes came in fourth in the 800-meter run, and Shandy March came in sixth in the 800-meter run. Chloe Sykes came in fourth in the 3,200-meter run. For the boys' high school team, Jay Scudder came in eighth place in discus. The 3,200-meter relay team came in third. Nick Thomas came in eighth in the 110-meter hurdles. Andy Belzer came in fourth in the 1,600-meter run. The 400-meter relay came in seventh place. Joseph Woods came in fourth place in the 400-meter dash. Joseph Woods also came in fourth in the 800-meter run. Justin Hazen came in second in the 32-meter run, and Andy Belzer came in sixth in the 32-meter run. Overall, the girls and boys both came in eighth place.
Sunday, 13 FBLA members traveled to Columbia for the State Leadership Conference. While there, they participated in leadership workshops and an award ceremony on Tuesday. Congratulations to Daniel Smith, who placed 10th in Accounting 1, Brandon Gordon, who placed 5th in Business Calculations, and Jay Scudder, whose third place finish in Business Math qualified him for FBLA Nationals.
On Monday 20th, 2009, Brashear held its first turkey calling contest. Richard and William Coy participated in this event. Ms. McHenry and Mr. Copeland participated in the event as well and gave a hand to the elementary so that they could get a try at turkey calling.
On Thursday, Mr. Naughton's 8th grade social studies class and government class took a trip to Jefferson City to tour the Capitol. The group met with State Representative Rebecca McClanahan and State Senator Wes Schumeyer. The students were recognized by the Speaker of the House, got to see the opening session of the House of Representatives, and got to tour the governor's mansion.
On Thursday, April 16th, the Theater Appreciation class took a field trip to Truman State University to see the musical Jekyll and Hyde.
The class met and ate at Polly's before the play began. Then they enjoyed the performance put on by the Truman students.
Last Saturday, the Brashear Academic Bowl team headed for district play at North Shelby. In their first round game, Brashear beat North Shelby 190-180. Second round game, Brashear defeated Bevier 125-80. In the third round game, Brashear defeated La Plata 155-145. And in the first round of bracket play, Brashear fell to Bevier 145-135. Congratulations to Jay Scudder, who was named tournament MVP with an average of 8 questions per game.
On Thursday, the Tigers faced off against Knox County in a varsity baseball game. Matt Thomas got the win 4-0, allowing no hits and no walks while striking out 14. For Brashear, Hayden Coyne went 2 for 3 with a home run and 3 RBIs, and Cody Snelling had a single and 5 stolen bases.
On Monday, April 20th, Brashear hosts Macon County for a varsity contest. Brashear's first 4 batters scored to give pitcher Michael McKim all the run support he would need. The Tigers also picked up a run in the second, another in the third, and 5 in the fourth to cruise to an 11-0 win. Michael McKim went the distance on the mound, striking out 8 while scattering 3 hits. Cody Snelling had 3 hits for Brashear, Hayden Coyne had 2, and Justin Hazen, Dylan Redding, Nick Thomas, Michael McKim, Richard Coy, and Joe Clarkson all had hits. Last Friday, the boys and girls varsity track teams traveled to Kirksville to compete in the Tiger Invite. The girls placed 10th and the boys placed 9th. For the girls, the 4x800 team placed 6th, the 4x200 team placed 7th, and the 4x100 team placed 8th. Chloe Sykes also placed 8th in the 2-mile. For the boys, the 4x800 team took 6th place, Justin Hazen placed 6th in the 2-mile, and Joseph Woods placed 7th in the mile and 8th in the 800-meter run.
Recently, the industrial arts students competed at districts. Several students qualified for state with their projects, who were Nicole Waxter with the billfold, Jeremy Barnes with the clock/can cooler, Nick Bradshaw with the clock, and Sydney Debbie with their project, the pen. Also, the Tech Bowl team took first in district, which included Ashton Walter, Shandy March, Caitlin Guffey, and Katie.
Last Tuesday, the Tigers hosted the Milan Wildcats for a varsity-junior varsity doubleheader. In the varsity game, Milan scored twice in the first inning and 6 times in the second to grab an 8-0 win over Brashear. Kylie Watson and Cody Snelling had hits for Brashear, while Cody Snelling took the loss on the mound, with Matt Thomas pitching 4 2/3 innings in relief. In the JV game, Milan led 1-0 after the first inning. Brashear went up 2-1 in their half of the third, but Milan answered with 4 runs in the bottom of the third to retake the lead. Milan ended up winning the game 9-8.
Wednesday, April 23rd, the varsity track teams traveled to Green City. Both teams picked up 6th-place finishes. Individual scores for the girls included Stephanie Elsie, 4th in the 100-meter hurdles, Sierra Hines, 3rd in the 300-meter hurdles and 8th in the 100-meter dash, Chloe Sykes, 3rd in the 1600-meter run and 3rd in the 800-meter run, and Katie Smith, 5th in the 1600-meter run and 6th in the 800-meter run. The girls 4x2 took 4th, the 4x4 got 5th, and the 4x1 took 7th. On the boys' side, Jay Scudder placed 6th in discus, Daniel Anderson took 7th in the 100-meter dash, Andy Belzer got 5th in the 3200-meter run, Justin Hazen took 1st in the 3200-meter run and 4th in the 1600-meter run, and Joseph Woods took 3rd in the 1600-meter run, 5th in the 400-meter run, and 5th in the 800-meter run. The boys 4x8 got 2nd, and the 4x2 team took 6th.
For junior high, the girls placed 8th with 43 points, and the boys placed 7th with 36 points. And in the girls' triple jump, Meredith Thomas got 4th, and Alexa Acton got 5th. In the high jump, Meredith Thomas got 6th. 75-meter hurdles, Nicole Waxter got 6th. 100-meter dash, Cynthia Anderson got 8th. 800-meter relay, Brashear got 7th. In the mile, Nicole Waxter got 5th, and Vicky Moncrief got 6th. 400-meter dash, Ashley Moncrief got 7th. 800-meter run, Nikki Moncrief got 3rd, and Alexa Acton got 4th. 1600-meter relay, 4th for Brashear. For the boys' triple jump, Hayden Hausman got 1st. Long jump, Hayden Hausman got 1st. In the mile, Hayden Hausman got 4th. 400-meter relay, Brashear got 6th. And 200-meter dash, Hayden Hausman got 2nd.
On Wednesday, the varsity and junior high track teams went to La Plata for conference track. The varsity girls finished 7th with 49 total points, and the boys got 5th with 60 points. For the girls, Stephanie Elsie placed 5th in 100-meter hurdles and 6th in the 400-meter dash. Sierra Hines finished 6th in the 100-meter hurdles and 300-meter hurdles. Chloe Sykes got 3rd in the mile, 6th in the 800, and 2nd in the 2-mile. The 4x8 relay team got 4th place, and the 4x4 team finished 3rd. For the boys, Jay Scudder placed 3rd in discus, and Nick Thomas got 5th. Nick also placed 7th in 110-meter hurdles and 8th in the 300-meter hurdles. Taryn Treasurer got 6th in shot put, and Daniel Anderson finished 5th in the 100-meter dash and 8th in the 200-meter dash. Andy Belzer got 6th in the 2-mile and 7th in the 800. Justin Hazen finished 2nd in the 2-mile and 5th in the mile, and Joseph Woods got 3rd in the mile, 7th in the 400, and 4th in the 800. The boys 4x8 team placed third and the 4x4 team finished sixth.
The junior high girls conference track got fourth. Individual events are Shelby Salter got second in long jump, Nicole Moncrief got seventh in long jump, Meredith Thomas got fifth in triple jump, Cynthia Anderson got seventh in high jump, Cynthia Anderson got second in 75-meter low hurdles, Cynthia Anderson got seventh in 100-meter dash, Brashear got second in the 800-meter relay, Nicole Wagster got fourth in the 1600 meter. Ashley Moncrief got fifth in the 1600 meter. Brashear got third in the 400 meter. The junior high conference boys got sixth. Individual events include Hayden Hausman first in long jump, Hayden Hausman first in triple jump, Jeremy Barnes, 7th in discus. Hayden Hausman, 3rd in the 1600-meter run. Brashear got 4th in the 400-meter relay. And Hayden Hausman got 2nd 200-meter dash. And Augustus Mihalovich got 5th in the 200-meter dash. Brashear got 3rd in the 400-meter relays. Nicole Moncrief got 2nd in the 800-meter run. And Brashear got first in the 1600-meter relay.
On Monday night, the athletic department hosted its annual sports banquet. A large crowd gathered to enjoy a carry-in dinner and presentation of awards. Students were recognized for basketball, softball, baseball, cheerleading, track, academic bowl, choir, band, and NHS.
On Wednesday, 2009, Deputy Grace March came and talked with the 5th grade about the DARE graduation, which is a program where the students learn about drug abuse. In this program, the 5th grade will have 9 lessons on ways to say no. After the graduation, the students and their guests enjoy cake and punch at a reception.
On Thursday, May 7th, Brashear School held a Careers on Wheels Careers Day, with many vehicles showing up and giving job descriptions and a look at what equipment they use. Vehicles showed up, such as the SWAT truck, police cars, mail truck, and the Swan men who gave out ice cream.
Tuesday, the Brashear baseball team took on La Plata at home. Both teams went scoreless through the first inning, but La Plata added a run in the second and 2 in the third to grab a 3-0 lead after 3 innings. Both teams were shut down by dominant pitching in the 4th and 5th innings, but La Plata broke open the game with 8 runs in the 6th off of several hits and Tiger defensive mistakes. La Plata then held Brashear through the rest of the game to take the 11-0 win in 6 innings. Matt Thomas took the loss on the mound, getting 3 strikeouts. In the JV game, La Plata jumped on top early with 2 runs in the first and never looked back, getting an 11-0 victory. Nick Thomas took the loss, with Hayden Coyne and Cody Snelling pitching in relief.
On Wednesday, our junior high and high school track teams competed at the Lynn County Relays at Brookfield. For the high school, Jay Scudder had a 6th place finish in discus. Stephanie Elsey took 6th in hurdles. The boys 4x800 team took 6th. Joseph Woods took a 6th in the 1600. Justin Hazen had a 7th in the 1600 and a 2nd in the 3200. And Chloe Sykes took 3rd in the 3200. For the junior high, Hayden Hausman had a 1st place finish in long jump, took 2nd in triple jump, 3rd in the 200, and 7th in the 1600. Jeremy Barnes had 8th in the discus. The girls' 800 medley relay team took 3rd. Lexa Acton took 3rd in the triple jump. Shelby Salter took 4th in the long jump and 8th in the 400. Cynthia Anderson took 8th in the 100 and 3rd in the hurdles. Meredith Thomas had a 6th place finish in high jump and 5th in the triple jump. Nicole Wagster took 4th in the 1600 meters. The girls 4x100 team took 5th. The girls 4x200 team took 3rd, and Ashley Moncrief took 8th in the 1600 meter. The high school track team also competed at Knox County Thursday, but rain shortened the meet and no results are available at this time. And now we'll leave you with the sights and sounds of Thursday night's art show, industrial art show, and spring concert.
On Friday, the kindergarten class held their annual kindergarten circus. The elementary and high school classes assembled in the gym to watch the performance. The circus consisted of acts put on by the children dressed as dancers, clowns, puppies, elephants, strongmen, lions, and tigers. They sang songs and danced to music accompanied by former Superintendent Diane Bradley.
On Saturday, the varsity track teams went to La Plata for district track. The girls' team finished 11th and the boys placed 9th. For Brashear, Stephanie Elzy competed in the 100-meter hurdles and the 400-meter dash. Katie Watson was in the 400-meter dash, and Ashley Watson threw shot. Chloe Sykes and Katie Smith both ran the mile, and Chloe also ran the 2-mile. Shandy March, Stephanie Elzy, Sierra Hines, and Chloe Sykes competed in the 4x400-meter relay, and Shandy March, Chloe Sykes, Katie Smith, and Katie Watson were in the 4x800-meter relay. For the boys, Daniel Anderson competed in the 100-meter dash, Joseph Woods ran in the 800-meter run and the 1600-meter run, and Justin Hazen was in the 2-mile. Andy Belzer, Justin Hazen, Jay Scudder, and Joseph Woods ran the 4x800-meter relay. Jay Scudder also threw discus for Brashear. Qualifiers for sectionals include the girls and boys 4x800-meter relay teams, Joseph Woods in the 800 and the mile, and Justin Hazen in the 2-mile. Sectionals will be held at Centralia on Saturday.
On Monday, May 11th, 2009, Atlanta came to Brashear for a varsity and JV baseball doubleheader. Atlanta jumped on the scoreboard with a run in the top of the first, but the Tigers came roaring back in the bottom of the frame on a Kylie Watson grand slam. Brashear maintained a 4-1 lead until a 5-run third inning for Atlanta capped off a grand slam and put the Hornets up 6-4. The Tigers regained the lead 9-6 in the fourth as Hayden Coyne, Cody Snelling, and Kylie Watson had homers. The Tiger bats were just getting started as Matt Thomas, Cody Snelling, and Adam Songer homered in the fifth, and Hayden Coyne and Matt Thomas homered in the sixth. The final score was Brashear 16, Atlanta 9. Jay Scudder, Brandon Gordon, Daniel Smith, and Michael McKim also had hits for Brashear. McKim picked up the win on the mound, striking out 9. The Brashear JV squad also won 12-7.
On Tuesday night, the Brashear baseball team headed to Schuyler County. Tigers got off to a quick start in the first inning with homers from Hayden Coyne and Kylie Watson, putting the Tigers up 5-0. The Tiger offense continued strong through the early going, eventually running up a 16-2 lead in the fourth inning when rains washed out the game. The Tigers' next game will be Monday night versus Atlanta in district baseball play.